And we're live.
What's
Happy
up?
Friday, Ralph. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I got my tea. Not quite happy hour yet, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ralph.
I'm sorry. I have coffee. It was an optional coffee or tea option.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay. You're forgiven.
Thank you. Thank you, wise, merciful Ralph. Oh, we got some viewers. Hell yeah.
People jumping on. Hopefully we'll have a few more and we can kind of go through some of the stuff.
Aaron Greenhouse. What's up, Aaron?
I should have got a mug, Chris. I have a thing. What's this called?
A thermos. That's a thermos. Yeah.
It's a
there
thermos.
You go.
Thank you.
We got Nico. We got Michael. We got Robert, Jerry, Mike, Rob Ching Hui, Chuck, all the usual suspects. Josh, Chuck, what's going on? Happy Friday.
What's up? What's up?
Very cool. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Happy Friday. Thank you, Jerry. I love my green screen. Basically, Zenescope stuff is like the only time or excuse I have to use this green screen, so I'm using it right now. Look at that amazing David Nakayama Kara's cover. How dope is that?
Nakayama's a man.
He is. Aaron, you got your mug. Cool. Awesome. So, Mazel Tov, L'chaim.
Cheers.
Prost. Cheers.
The lid came off of mine. It was too hot, man. The one thing about this thermos is like I could fill this up and it'll stay hot for literally hours. It's crazy.
That's awesome. Wait, is that one of those smart thermoses where like you can?
I guess it's pretty smart.
Oh, is it?
I don't know, Chris. It's fogging up my glasses.
It's all good. Jacob, we are hanging out. It's Friday. We have a lot of cool announcements.
Yeah. So we'll have some announcements. We'll go through a few things because we have a bunch of stuff coming up. And then we have a special guest. We're going to pre-record something today that will be showing on during the virtual HorrorCon next week. So you guys will have, anybody watching today will get to see it live, and then next week we'll replay it because our guest coming on today couldn't do next weekend, unfortunately. So I think that'd be cool, and we'll announce it as a surprise in like a half hour. He's coming on. So yeah.
Hey, special guest coming on at 4:45. Oh, it's Mitch.
Mitch and I used to work together back in the day.
That's awesome. And what's up, Brian? Welcome to the stream. So you want to give another minute for some more people to show up, or
no? Let's jump into it. We got a bunch to cover before we have our guest on. So
yes, we do. I got all these notes. So first things first. Some of you have already know about this. Some of you have already made orders. So if you did, congrats. You have a head start on your progress towards the Monster Hunt promotion. We're hosting all October. So thematically, it's perfect for Halloween, for this month, and it's also a lead up into a brand new Monster Hunter Survival Guide trade paperback that's coming out, I think, October 21st, if I remember correctly. So it's really exciting. So this promotion is 4 weeks long. We're still in week 1, so you have until Sunday to complete your purchases. So basically how the Monster Hunt promotion works, you have 4 weeks, and each week you have to do a certain type of qualified purchase. So week 1, it doesn't matter what you buy, any order between Monday and this Sunday, you're going to get a Bigfoot sticker. And among those stickers, kind of like Willy Wonka, if you get a special golden sticker, you're going to automatically win a really cool prize. So the prize for week 1, if you get a golden sticker, is a limited to 200 issue Sun Kumanaki black and white exclusive. If you see the the artwork or the ad copy that's posted on the screen right now. It's a little bit small, but basically a black and white version of a really awesome cosplay cover that we're going to be selling.
We'll pop it. We'll pop the full color cover up real quick if you want.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Let's do that. Let's do that.
That's the regular version that's coming out next week for New York Comic Con and for our virtual horror con. But you'll get a black and white version. I don't know what the black and white version is limited to. If maybe
it's 200. It's a 200 print run.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. So that's the prize if you get a golden Bigfoot sticker for week 1. If you get if you qualify for all purchases among the 4 weeks, if you collect 4 of those stickers, you take a snapshot, email it to info@zenescope.com, you will also qualify to win that same exclusive, that black and white Sun Kuminaki collectible cover, which is really cool. So week 2, starting this Monday or next Monday, so October 12th to October 18th, that's going to be week 2, similar to week 1. It's going to be for all web store orders specifically. It's not VirtualCon orders don't count. It's web store orders, so that's very important. So any order you make during week 2, you get a mummy sticker, and if you get a golden mummy sticker, you're also going to get you're gonna get one of our live stream packs. It's gonna be a Sun Kuminaki live stream pack that we're also selling on the VirtualCon or the HorrorCon next week. So that's a really great prize. Week 3, which is from October 19th to the 25th. This is one of the weeks where you have to buy a specific product. You have to buy the brand new Monster Hunter Survival Guide graphic novel. So if you get that, you can get the week 3 sticker, which is a werewolf sticker. If you happen to get a golden werewolf sticker in your order, you're gonna get a Sun Kuminaki limited to 75 Z-rated collectible. So that's the Z-rated version of that cosplay cover we just shown, except it's also in black and white. And last but not least, for week 4, from October 26th to Halloween, so October 31st. This is also a qualified order purchase. So basically, you have to order one of the following: either the Los Angeles or LA Comic Con collectible, which goes on sale on the 27th, one of our Trick or Treat swag bags, which goes on sale October 30th, or one of our Monster Galleries, which goes on sale on Halloween. So if you purchase one of those 3 items, you're automatically going to get the week 4 vampire sticker. And if you get a golden vampire sticker, you're gonna get a Sun Kuminaki Z-rated gallery edition. Those are extremely rare. So that's a lot of information. But if you made an order in week 1 or week 2, you'll be sent a sticker board. And then I'm gonna pull up it. Yep, thank you, Ralph. So on the back side of this sticker board, there's also a schedule. So it looks like this. So you don't have to worry about forgetting what week it is or what you have to purchase. All of it is going to be on that sticker board. This information is also on our website and our Facebook page. So don't worry, the information is readily available. So if you have any question, I'm sorry.
We did have a question before about shipping and being able to maybe bundle shipping. Mm-hmm. So that is a possibility if it's something where you don't want to pay for shipping every week. We may be able to bundle your orders because you're ordering weekly, and if you want to wait on your first week's orders and have them shipped with your last week's orders, we can accommodate that.
Email me specifically about that, because I can make a custom order for you. I can hold it, and then when you pay for your week 4 order, just shoot me an email at chris.sampson@zenescope.com. If you want to bundle your orders, just email me directly. I can make custom orders for you. That's like the easiest way to do it. So
yeah,
got your handle.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, and that's pretty much it for all of the Monster Hunt. So we're almost done with week 1. So get those purchases in. Make sure you get your Bigfoot sticker. And best of luck. Maybe you'll win that exclusive for free. But after you finish all 4 weeks, if you have all your stickers, you slap them on your sticker board, shoot a photo to info@zenescope.com or me directly, and we'll get your information and we'll send out that That's some Kumanaki limited 200 exclusive for you. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Monster Hunt.
What's next on the agenda, sir?
Well, next week, Ralph, it's our virtual horror con, our big. It is.
What?
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 So technically, right now, this weekend should have been New York Comic Con, and this month is also actually I think it should be the same weekend. Actually, it's MCM London Con. So, oh, thank you, Chuck. Chuck, our IT guy, always on the draw.
We didn't see Chuck at the VIP con.
I'm sorry?
I didn't see Chuck.
Chuck, actually, we were discussing about this. I don't think Chuck is a VIP, which shocked me.
We have to get Chuck.
So, Chuck, we need to get you on VIP status. So,
what's going on? So yeah, virtual horror con. Next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have our guest list finally. I guess I'll show it now because one of these guests, we're going to be recording his interview in about 20 minutes. So here's our guest list for next week. And we gave a little hint on social media who we'd be interviewing today. But we have a bunch of cool guests, including Eric. We've been getting a lot of requests to have Ebas on the show, so we'll be doing a little bit of a Q&A and more so a walkthrough a bunch of his classic Zenescope covers. We have a bunch of his pencils and colors, and he's going to kind of take us through a bunch of those, so that should be fun. We have actor Michael Berryman. You guys may remember from a ton of horror movies, ton of movies in general. He was in One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest. We'll be asking him about that.
The Hills Have Eyes.
Bunch of stuff. And then John Kassir, he is the voice of the Crypt Keeper. Hint, hint, he might be joining us soon. David Seidman, and then of course we have our cosplay contest on next Saturday, with our guest judges who were judging for us in August as well. So they're all coming back to do the judging, and we have I think 9 contestants, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 10. I can't remember.
Yeah, we have a full house practically. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be very exciting.
And we have the schedule. We're going to be posting the schedule up on Facebook and all the good stuff soon. Because you probably can't read this right here unless you have really good eyes, which I'm trying to. Even with my glasses, I can't read that.
Yeah, I know the schedule was already posted on our Facebook page, but we'll be sending out email blasts like this week and next week, so everyone will have all this information readily available. But every single day. It's going to be from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Might go over a little bit depending on scheduling or how the program goes. But yeah, mark your calendars, set your alarms. A lot of exciting stuff. So we have all those great guests, especially Ebas and our horror icon guests. We have the costume contest on Saturday. Then on Thursday, we're doing something completely new, experimental. We're doing what we're calling the Zenescope Comic Book Theater with Crystal Starr and Jessa Diaz, and it's gonna be a really awesome time. So stay tuned. Yeah, I think that's about it for the horror.
It's our first time doing comic book theater, dude.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Pushing comic book theater for literally months, and we finally doing comic book theater with Crystal and Jessa. So it's going to be interesting, at least.
Yeah.
We'll be reading.
We did rehearsal. I think we did doing well.
Oh, and Chris is doing and Chris will be acting. And that's the best part about it. Chris and Crystal. And Jessa and I used to act together in a show years ago. We played Tony and Tina in a show called Tony and Tina's Wedding for several years together. So Jessa's been acting for quite a while, but it should be fun.
It's gonna be amazing. But Ralph, are we gonna do another watch party so we can watch Tony and Tia?
No, I don't. That was a live show. It wasn't thank God it wasn't. There might be a video of it somewhere that's floating around. No, that was a live show, so you don't get that privilege. But we are doing that. This segues into our into our not watch party, I should say, our
Our movie night.
movie night, movie club, I like to call it. It's almost like a book club for movies.
Yeah, and a happy hour if you're so inclined.
Yeah, happy hour if you feel like cracking one open, and you never know.
Yeah, so we are reviewing the classic CREEPSHOW. I forget what year this came out, but what an amazing film.
I think 82.
Yep. Directed by directed and produced by George Romero.
Yeah.
Stephen King.
And Stephen King was what wrote it.
Yeah, and he stars in it too.
And he's in it.
Yeah. This movie's awesome. I cannot wait. So so for our first ever Zenescope movie club, we're doing CREEPSHOW. It's going to be premiering on Friday, October 23rd at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 3 p.m. Pacific. So it'll be Ralph, Joe, myself, and then we're having special guests, Brian O'Halloran, Marilyn Gigliotti. So their biggest claim to fame from the 1994 cult classic Clerks by Kevin Smith.
You know Brian, you know Marilyn. There they are in Clerks.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Chris.
That's all good. I love them both. I actually got to meet Brian. Oh god, I think earlier this year. I think it was either like Vancouver. I think it was at Vancouver actually. So yeah, I got to meet him for the first time really recently. Great guy. So I'm really happy to have him on, as well as Marilyn and Sug Kuminaki. She will also be joining us for the movie club. And we have a very big teaser, so you don't want to miss it, especially with Sun. She's going to be showcasing some brand new work. Very exciting.
Chris says the movie Vamp. I forgot about that movie, Chris. Good pull.
Mm-hmm.
God, that was Grace Jones playing what a good movie. We should do that.
Yes.
Vamp. I don't know. Did you ever see Vamp, Chris?
I actually haven't. I'm always down. I love B-rated movies.
It's gotta be 80. It's gotta be mid 80s. I can't even remember who stars in it. It's a really good movie, man. It probably sucks now if I rewatched it, but when I was a kid, that thing was awesome. That's a good pull, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely whether it's the Zenescope comic book theater or the movie club, we love to hear your feedback, how we can make these programs better. These are our first time, running these ever. So we want to make these as fun as possible. And obviously for the movie club, if there's any suggestions for movies in the future, like Vamp, or, for me, I would love to do The Warriors, anything that's like B-rated, pulpy, guilty pleasure kind of schlocky films like that,
we can, not to cut you off, but we do have our schedule that we haven't put out. We'll be surprising people every month, but we still have time to change a few, especially on the back end. Because Sun's going to be doing all 12 covers for every movie, homage covers for every movie. So if you guys have some good recommendations, we can always switch some things up. I mean, hopefully if it's successful and you guys dig it, we'll keep going. We'll get different artists on different sets. Unless we make Sun do every cover forever, which
I mean, that's kind of been this year though. She's been doing so much work for this year, and she's crushing it. So.
Yeah, I mean, we force her. We yell at her till she does it.
They live. Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
There's some good ones. Yeah, I know we're doing. What are we doing next? I don't even know. I can't even announce next month because I don't even know. I think we changed it already.
TBA, to be announced.
TBA.
We'll figure it out.
The point is, watch CREEPSHOW this week or next week, leading up to the 23rd. And so when we go live with everyone and have our sort of movie club discussion, you guys will be able to also come in the feed and comment, ask questions. We'll have a couple segments throughout, and then of course Sun will unveil the cover she did as well.
So stay tuned, do your homework, watch the movie prior to 10/23. Yes, we love Sun. Very exciting. Always a pleasure when she comes back on.
Mike just bought. I gotta buy it too. I thought it was on Prime. I thought it was like free on Prime, but it's not, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So sorry we picked a movie that's not free, guys.
Sorry. Also, speaking of CREEPSHOW, I think it's on Shudder. The new revamped CREEPSHOw
TV series is on
Yeah.
Shudder.
Yeah. Oh, it's really good. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, I know the producers of that, and they do a really good job. Yeah, we were trying to get one of the directors of the show, or one of the producers to come on to talk about it, but I don't think it's going to happen. So we won't go down that road. Yeah. What else we got? Is that everything for?
I have one more thing. Ralph, vamp for a second. I just need to grab the statue. So 1 second. Yeah, vamp.
What do you want me to vamp about?
Vamp about anything.
Chris just leaves me alone. What else did I need to mention? Oh, we're doing the Kickstarter. Oh, we're having a Kickstarter this month. I forgot. We're doing another Kickstarter, guys. Chris is probably grabbing the statue for you.
Hey, I got it. I'm back. So, we tease. Oh God, this year feels so long. I feel like we teased this first during the August, or like our August virtual con. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was August. So it's official. We're doing the next Sojo style statue Kickstarter. It's going to be launching later this month. So October 29th. That's when this amazing Van Helsing Sojo style statue is going to be launching. I gotta say, I mentioned this before. This statue is like, it's so good. Like it's easily my favorite of the new statues. This is not even the final draft. This is like the second prototype, but it looks so good. So our partners, our vendors that we've been working with, they just knocked this out of the park. So this is the full color version. And I also have the black and white version, which looks really slick, really classy. So really can't wait for this to launch. For those who don't know, Van Helsing's hands down one of my favorite characters in our Grimm universe. So very exciting that she's getting her own statue. So again, October 29th, that's when we're launching. We're still doing some logistical background stuff with Jen. We're going to actually, next week, we're going to be filming the Kickstarter video. But stay tuned. We're going to have more details. We're still doing Kickstarter only exclusive and add-ons like our previous statue Kickstarters. Ralph, give me a vibe check. Should we show off one of the Kickstarter covers right now, or do you want to leave them waiting?
Show it off.
Show it off? Okay. Okay.
We have 7 minutes to kill.
We have 7 minutes. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to only show one of them. I don't want to, spoil too much. So this is, okay, here's the regular version. So this is one of our Kickstarter books by the one and only Paul Green. I believe Ula Moss colored this one as well. So shout out to Ula. This cover looks so good. I'm very excited about this cover.
That's a sweet cover.
Yeah. So I think this one's a 350 print run, if I remember correctly. So this is a first time reveal. No one has seen this before until now. So again, Paul Green does amazing work as always. So this will be one of the Kickstarter exclusives. I'm not. I know there's at least one other exclusive. I have the file, or actually, there's 2 other ones. There's 2 other exclusives that will keep to the vest or close to the vest right now. In terms of other add-ons, I'm not sure what we're doing yet. We're probably going to do some metal books or galleries like we did in the past. So we're still working on those last minute details. So just stay tuned. We'll be filming the video on Monday, and then the actual campaign will launch on the 29th. So just keep an eye on your emails and stay tuned. And we love doing these statue projects. I mean, and this one easily is the best. Cannot wait. And if you want us to do more of these statues, show us your support by pledging, sharing, tweeting, posting about it. Tell your friends, tell your family, so we can do more of these cool projects.
Yes, the Kickstarter launch is what date, Chris?
October 29th. So that is Thursday.
Okay. And then somebody asked, I think Rob asked if we can see a sneak. Everybody wants a sneak peek. Let me see if I have one of the
the Zenbox cover. I think we already teased that.
I do have it.
Mm.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find it here, because it is pretty sweet. There it is. We could show. Oh, there. Oh, so good. I think this is it. Wait, Chris, you tell me. Hold on.
Wait, did you upload it?
I'm uploading it now.
Okay.
I had to find it. Okay, is this right?
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
There it is. That's next week.
That's next week. Oh yeah, so Zenbox, the new Zenbox. So if this was a normal trade show year, this would have been the New York Comic Con Zenbox, but now this is the HorrorCon Zenbox. So this is Paul Green and Ula Moss again teaming up for another amazing serial cosplay cover. Honey Night Heroes featuring Robin Hood. And this time around, the Zenbox is not a 150 print run; it's a 200 print run. So it's gonna be a little bit easier to grab one, since we're basically adding on 50 more.
Yeah,
to the
a little
print
bit.
run. A little bit.
We'll try to get everybody to get a Zenbox. It's a sweet cover. I mean, that cover is one of my favorite. I just got an awesome cover in from Dave while I'm talking to you for my new series, The Courier.
The Courier Part 2.
The Courier Part 2. There's Eve Harper. Look how cool that is. I don't even know who did this cover off the top of my head. I gotta find
I know Sun did a cover, and she included your sketch.
She put my artwork in it.
Your stick figure.
I gotta ask Dave who this is. I can't. It's one of the rare artists I can't figure out who it is just from looking at it. Oh man, I'll figure it out. Pretty sweet. Yeah. That comes out early next year.
Yeah, so stay tuned. So the Zenbox, you can first get it at the Virtual Con. I think we're probably doing the same thing we did before, which is like one box per customer, just so everyone can at least get one. And then it's gonna go on sale officially on the web store on the 18th. So that same Sunday of HorrorCon weekend. So very exciting. And I think unless no one else has any questions, we have our special guest in the backstage right now.
What we'll do, guys, just so you know, I know there's a few people on right now. There's a bunch of people on right now, but this we'll be pre-recording John's interview for next week's HorrorCon. So that we'll be replaying it then. But you guys have like sort of a sneak peek with live with the interview with John Kassir. So I know he is backstage. You're right. There he is. John, give us the thumbs up when you're ready. Oh, he's ready to roll. All right, cool. We're gonna bring on John Kassir and we're gonna say hi to him. And if you guys do have some questions, pop them in the comments, and we'll try to get to your questions as well. Again, if you want to be surprised next week, you don't have to watch right now, but we would love for you to stay on. All right, let's get John on the stream. Hey.
What's up?
What's up? How are you, sir?
I don't know how to position the camera. I always feel like I'm in a bar, so
There's no rule. You can position it however you want. That's perfect.
Hey, there he is.
So this is very exciting. You know how excited I am for this. Oh my God, we can do this all day.
I've been doing these cameos for people, and they're like, flying off the shelves for Halloween. Everything from people's wedding vows to hey, can you announce the gender of our child? Of course, doing a cameo with the Crypt Keeper doesn't burn down like an entire state.
That's amazing. Right. The Crypt Keeper's a little safer, guys. If you're going to do a gender reveal party, hire the Crypt Keeper.
Crypt Keeper.
Yeah,
Does your child have a bone or doesn't it?
That's a real gender reveal. Not like, why do we have to set things on fire? Hire John, hire the Crypt Keeper.
No, it's fun because people are like, why are you like charging, a shitload? I was like, because it's for fans. I get paid, good money to do commercial stuff. You can do a business one, but it's quite a bit more. I mean, I think I charge like $500 for them or something, but it's well worth it. I mean, like a typical just scale job pays a lot more than that. So, I'm just doing this. I am making a little extra money, but I'm doing it for the fans.
Because it's not like you said. You're and then for those who don't know, John's a huge voiceover actor. So he's done a ton of stuff. I can rattle. I mean, I'll rattle off a couple of your credits. I mean, I don't want to there's a lot, so I'll just John. John Cassiers obviously is the voice of the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt. As you guys know, hopefully you figured that out by now.
This is actually just what I look like in high school. This is my high school photo.
You know what? You've aged well.
You're like a Benjamin Button. You're as you grow older, you're getting younger. You look great.
Salad days, as they say.
But a lot of moisturizer, guy.
I'll let you finish, Ralph. What were you saying?
So John's done extensive voiceover work. That includes Buster Bunny in the final scenes of Tiny Toon Adventures, Ray Raymundo Rocket on Rocket Power, P. Puma in the Looney Tunes show, Deadpool in X-Men Legends.
The original Deadpool. Nobody voiced him before me.
Wow.
You and
Ryan Reynolds should face off.
I did my best for Ryan Reynolds, but they didn't pick me.
I think you're you know what? If 10, 20 more years, you're gonna look better than Ryan Reynolds. So don't even this Benjamin Button's disease. So that's just a few of your credits. Obviously, huge voiceover work, actor. But the one thing I know, Chris, I don't want to steal your question because I see you had a good question right here. So why don't you jump in because I want to ask about this.
Which the one I added?
About Sinbad.
I'm sorry, my bad. Okay, I'm getting starstruck because John, you voiced pretty much my entire childhood, especially Rocket Power and it's an honor to meet you and it's an honor to have you on the show. So our first question, you won Star Search by beating out Sinbad for best stand-up comedy. And so when did you realize you wanted to become a comedian? And what did you remember most about that special moment?
I'm not going to say I had never done stand-up before then, but I had never professionally done stand-up before then. I had, through high school, I used to do the talent shows with my buddy Fred. We'd come out like a two-guy team, like Burns and Shriver or, the funny guy team. And we'd do our bits and that kind of stuff. And we'd do the morning announcements where we would, make fun of the teachers and imitate the teachers. Like the following morning announcement brought to you by a grant from the Mobile Corporation. We do stuff like that. Right. But, I was in New York pretty much starving for the first 6 years of my career. I moved to New York out of college to get my first, studying theater in college to get my first off-Broadway show, which closed after 3 weeks of infighting between the creative team and the and the production team. And so I was doing mostly street performing to supplement my income and make a living in one of the most expensive cities in the world. Right. And I started, and I worked with a comedy group that we were together in college, and we did USO tours. There were 4 of us that went all over the world doing USO tours and sketch comedy, but I had never really done much in the way of stand-up. And I got a part in an off-Broadway show called 3 Guys Naked from the Waist Down. which which sounds like like a gay review in the Village, but that's not what it was. It was a metaphor for how it feels in front of an audience when you're a stand-up and you're bombing. And so it was a two-guy. It was a musical about three stand-up comics. Think Dreamgirls, but with stand-up comics. And it starred myself along with somebody you've heard of a lot, Scott Bakula.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great. I love Bakula.
And Scott was just, really launching his career. He had worked mostly in theater, and the two of us were trying to make our way through Broadway, which, of course, is not only a tough business, but also you never really get paid that much.
Right.
Which is why we both wound up in television, so we could have a house, and, drive a car, normal things that people have. But it was a big hit off Broadway. And, Scott and Jerry Colker, who wrote the piece, who had come from doing Chorus Line and Pippin and a bunch of other shows on Broadway, Harvard educated guy who's very smart, but wrote this musical about these three misfit stand-ups that together become a huge hit, and wind up with their own TV series and the whole thing. And so it was a really fun show. And it was kind of the toast of the town in New York at the time, and was launching my career for me. And these scouts from Star Search saw me in the show, and they went, "Hey, we want you to be on Star Search." It was the first season of Star Search.
Oh, wow.
And they were already in their semifinals. Brad Garrett won that year, but they needed, people to come in and compete towards the end of the season as they were putting and whoever was the reigning champion at that point would come in the beginning of the next season as the continuing champion. And so they asked me to do it first, and they were like, "You want to be on Star Search?" And I go, "As what, a singer?" Because they had Sam Harris kicking ass on that show. I go, this is a musical. I can sing, no doubt. I can't sing like Sam Harris, man. This guy's blowing. This guy's, Judy Garland incarnate. This guy's blowing the stage up, and I'm not gonna be able to do that. They go, "No, we want you to come on as a stand-up comic." And I go, "Well, I'm not really a stand-up comic, right? I'm just playing it in the show." And they're like, "Well, you can win $100,000. I'm like, "Fuck, have you seen it?"
I'll do it
tomorrow. So, so I dug down into like some of my old sketches from working with Animal Crackers, which was the comedy group I told you about that I worked with, and some of my street act, and I started refashioning it and doing, each bit had to be 2.5 minutes long. And so they were flying me out to LA while I'm doing this show off Broadway, and I'm going back and forth. It was a very exciting time for me. The Village Voice was writing an article on me called, Lifestyles of the Nearly Rich and Famous. And, and all of a sudden I'm going from like off Broadway actor, street performer to, to household name.
Right.
I was even surprised that I won the first bit, because I had never even done it in front of an audience. But I used to have stuff in my act, like even in high school, where I would do like the Wizard of Oz in 2.5 minutes, stuff like that.
So you're just pulling from everywhere.
You got to do that on Star Search. So that's the kind of stuff I was doing, and I was winning, and I kept winning each week. So I kept having to fly back to LA to shoot a couple more episodes as long as I kept winning.
Right.
And once I got into the semifinals, that was going to be at the end of the season. So I was back in New York doing the show, and all of a sudden the people are like, "Hey, I saw you on Star Search." People in New York, they walk up to you like they know you when you get known. They don't treat you like, "Oh my God, there's
Right.
God, over there, I saw like it on TV." People come up to you and go, "Hey man, were you like Kramer or something?" Because they used to have this wild, crazy hair and stuff. And I was like, "No, you probably saw me on Star Search," and that kind of thing. But by the time we got to the end of the season, I had to compete first against Rosie O'Donnell in the semifinals, and I beat her. And then I had to go up against Sinbad in the finals. and beat him, whatever that means. How do you beat somebody at stand-up?
Yeah, well, they should have put you in a ring so you could fight.
Yeah,
That's the octagon. Yeah.
Then you could really know, John.
Well, if you look at my Facebook page, somebody posted this thing of the finals from Star Search. I don't even think it was on YouTube until recently, so I was really glad they put it up there because I haven't seen it in years. And they have me standing next to Sinbad after we've each done our bit. You know, Ed McMahon's going, one of these two guys are going to win, and I think I come up to maybe like his nipple. That's how shorter I am than him. He's this huge guy. What a sweetheart. I every once in a while I still run into Sinbad. He's still a sweetheart of a guy. He's had a lot of success, obviously. And Rosie, you know, what can you say about her? I mean, she's had quite a career, but she's still pissed off that she lost to me. She's still bring it up. She still gets pissed off. You know, it's like, you know,
so angry.
You know, her Long Island or competitive nature or whatever. But you know, it launched my career. Of course, it launched my career as a stand-up comic. You know, I had been working as an actor, you know, in New York all these years, and you know, I'd imagined myself to be like the next Dustin Hoffman or something, and all of a sudden I was like the guy who won Star Search. And I remember them announcing on the show that I was going to open for Tom Jones in Vegas, and I was like, oh my god! And they're like knocking me around and pat me on the back. You're going to open for Tom Jones in Vegas? I was like, I can't open for Tom Jones in Vegas. I don't have a fucking act.
I love that you made up your act. You made up your act on the fly. Really, that's amazing. I was going to ask you about the Tom Jones thing. You know, because I saw a couple when we do our research. We take our research seriously here, John.
Professional.
We're very professional.
Yeah,
it's called Wikipedia.
I've had people put stuff on my Wikipedia page. I was like,
yeah, I hope it's right. Now, listen, we have people. We have better than Wikipedia, right? We got. Don't worry about it. Nothing we ever say is wrong.
I know my Wikipedia page that I had done improv with Robin Williams at the Improv, which is totally true. I used to get up on stage with him and Rick Overton and some other people, and people go, yeah, but Robin Williams doesn't remember, you know, doing this with you. And I was just like, is that like a drug reference to Robin Williams? Or are you like insulting me? Like, first of all, and what are you doing posting something on my Wikipedia page? It's just like, you know, when people come up, but that's, you know, that's life of trolls, you know, that's what
we told everybody who ever knew Robin Williams and knows he does not remember this specific time. So what's been your favorite experience in like performing? Was it with performing alongside Robin Williams? Was it something else? I mean, that has got to be pretty freaking
awesome. You know, I mean, I always loved the theater. I always thought that I would make my profession in the theater, because you're working with great actors on a stage in front of a live audience. You go through the rehearsal process, and you know, television is so fast. You show up, you go, how do you do? Okay, you guys are in bed together. You've been together for this amount of years, you know, and you go, you know, and oh, by the way, we're changing all the lines. Can you learn these lines in 5 minutes? No, well, learn them anyway and do it. And, you know, movies, of course, depending on how big of a budget it is, they take their time working their way through each scene and that kind of stuff if you have a good director. But, you know, theater is, you get to use, you know, all the love of craft that you've always wanted to use. Of course, it also pays the least. It's tough to make a living at it.
Right.
So, but, you know, something like Three Guys Naked from the Waist Down, you know, I got to sing, I got to act, I got to do stand up, I got to play a really odd Andy Kaufman-ish, you know, sympathetic character. It was although so few people saw it, you know, over the time that we played that show as compared to being seen in one commercial. It used everything that I had studied as an actor, everything that I did as a kid, everything that I had wanted to do as an actor in that one show. And so that's probably was one of the most amazing, not only the thing that launched my career, but it was one of the most amazing things I got to do. Of course, Star Search, you know, once I got on Star Search, you're like, all of a sudden you're going, oh my God, everybody knows who I am. All of a sudden, all these things have happening to you. And you're like, if I die tomorrow, I at least got there. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, what's the next thing?
Right.
So, so there are a lot
of life of an actor, really. I mean, that's the life of an actor is the next, you book, because I've acted a long time in my life, and same thing, like you book something, you get something big here and there, and then it's like, okay, what's next? Because I got to eat.
Yeah, you get to a certain age and you don't think that way anymore. You're really settled down with what you're doing, and you're not offered as many different things, so you're not. I'm so lucky to have established myself as a voice actor because I'm not typed out by my age, my race,
right? Whether
I'm human or not. I've played everything for Disney. I played Miko the raccoon in Pocahontas. I played Elliot in the new Pete's Dragon. Right now, I've been recording for them for Flora and Ulysses, which is a really fun live action Disney movie where I play Ulysses, which is one of the title characters. He's a squirrel, and so I have the bring him to life with his own squirrel language.
That's not a meeting call, John.
Yeah. Oh, hey! Well, you can see my dogs go crazy. I have 2 border collies that when I start doing it, start looking at
what the hell is that doing?
So John, speaking of like the next big thing, so we talked a lot about your career in theater and stand-up, and you've over the course of your life, you established yourself as a really prolific, really talented voice actor. How did you get into voice acting? Was it just one of those jobs that just came by your table and you just gave it a shot?
Believe it or not, Tales from the Crypt was the voice job that launched my voice career, because up until then, here I was working in LA after winning Star Search. I got my first series on HBO, First and 10, which if you've seen it, was a very funny show about a football team. I played a Bulgarian field goal kicker named Zagreb Shkanuski. I play for the California Bulls. I fuck you both. Yes. Really funny character. And, I was on that series for 6 years, and HBO really wasn't in every household back then. Right. It was, the people who got to see it. So here I was doing this show that was a lot of fun, had the biggest stars in football. It was Delta Burke's first show. It was Chris Maloney's. He played one of the quarterbacks, from SVU. He was one of the quarterbacks. Jason Begay, who's on, Chicago PD or whatever.
Chicago Fire, is it, or something?
No, he's on the one about the cops. They're kind of coexist together.
Okay. Right,
and he plays the guy with the voice down here, the guy who's the police chief and their sergeant or whatever. But he played the quarterback. I mean, we had worked with O.J. Simpson for 7 years on that show. Who knew? And people like that. We also had Shannon Tweed, and they were because the show was was HBO. It was sports comedy and sex.
Right, that's right.
And so because they shot during the summer, I could do a pilot for a network show. It would either get picked up or not, and then I would shoot during the summer on First and 10, and then once I got on Tales from the Crypt, I mean, HBO called my agents and said, "Listen, we're doing this series, Tales from the Crypt. It's with the biggest producers in Hollywood, and we need somebody who can do, because I didn't really have a stand-up act. Half my stand-up act was doing, it was based on a guy growing up through television. I played like an addicted television addict.
So you're doing like impersonations and different voices already.
Impersonations, characters of my own, all kinds of vocal gymnastics, Hey, look, it's George Jetson. But I put channels on myself, and Scotty, beam me out of here. I can't cut anybody. Got up to what factor H is going to blow. As coroner, I must concur. I thoroughly examined her. You know, I still do like the Wizard of Oz in my act. It became one of my signature pieces and that kind of thing. So they needed somebody who could create a voice for this character, but bring, you know, a stand-up, you know, personality to him. I mean, fortunately for me, I loved those comic books as a kid. I knew exactly what that character needed.
Really? Okay. Because that was my next question, actually, how you kind of came up with that voice. Like, was it just?
Yeah, well, it's all kind of interconnected because when I say it literally launched my voiceover career, it did because first of all, it's on HBO. You don't even know if it's going to be a popular show. It almost got canceled the first season because it was so expensive to make.
Yeah, love that show.
Bill Adler, who had been, you know, producing Freddy's Nightmares, came in and was able to do it on budget. You know, and we didn't have much of a budget to begin with. You could see the Crypt Keeper's mouth barely moves in the first episodes because they didn't give Kevin much of a budget. But here I was sent down to Kevin Yeager's studio to audition for it, which was a big deal to me. Here's the guy who made Chucky and had designed Freddy and was, you know, so talented. He's still one of the most talented people ever in this business. Right. And so I went down to Kevin Yeager's, got the opportunity to go down to Kevin Yeager's studio to audition for him, where he was making the puppet. And he just had a boombox with like a lav mic to record into, to take the tape, like cassette tape to, you know, Joel Silver and Dick Donner, two of the biggest, you know, producers, and of course Dick Donner being one of the biggest director producers in the business. You know, so I went there and I saw what he looked like, and I came up with that voice just based on, you know, there he was with all these, you know, rotting teeth, right, and holes in his throat, and so I started doing that for Kevin and doing it with this kind of stand-up delivery, and I was remembering what it was like to read those comic books as a kid and to watch Alfred Hitchcock, you know, who loved those puns. Yeah. And, you know, the idea, like I could see people that were there to audition were reading the puns and going, be careful what you ask for. You may get it. They go, this shit's terrible. And you're like, you want to, I'm thinking to myself, these guys don't get it. This is Shakespeare to the.
Right. You got to lean into it.
This is the highest form of alliteration, you know?
You got to commit.
So, so as I'm doing it for Kevin, he's like, I start cracking up as the Crypt Keeper while I'm doing it. I'm going, perfect. He laughs at his own jokes. This is all, you know? You know, I'm like, hey, what you asked for.
So you got it.
He was like, oh, you know, and like the next day he had me doing it in Joel Silver and Dick Donner's office for them. And they're like, okay, we'll see you on the set. That was maybe the easiest job that I ever got. And
you didn't have to, it just was that you kept doing since, right? You didn't evolve, much after that. That's
no, you know, I went going to the studio. They'd be writing the episodes or shooting the episodes, and Kevin and I, you know, and then when you know, when Gil Adler came on the scene, you know, Gil and we'd go and we'd just play. I mean, they'd have written me some fun stuff, but over the years, you can see the Crypt Keeper evolve. Of course, once the show got picked up and it was a hit, they made this better version of him with more servos, you know, those you know, hobbyist motors and stuff inside of him where he could talk and I could speed up.
Right.
Getting him talk slow and more ominously because his mouth didn't move, you know.
Right.
But you know, then we could start making him fast and funny, which is how I'd auditioned him, and you know, and I just cracking them up. I would do, you know, Stella, you know, I did the Crypt Keeper,
right,
and then the next week it would be, you know,
the Crypt Keeper in doing Marlon Brando. That's amazing.
You know, but then from there, I was offered, you know, I was approached by the best, and I'm still with them. They used to be the ICM voiceover department, which is now they're DPN, and they're the best and biggest voiceover agents in the business. And I've been with them since 1989, I think. somewhere around there. And so that launched my voiceover career for me. You know, it's definitely added longevity to my career just based on the amount of parts that I can play as opposed to the amount of parts I can play on camera. And I still get on camera work and I still do theater work, but you know, it's limited because they just don't write as much stuff for people after, you know, in certain age groups, and they give the same work to the same people over and over and over again. So, and I get my share, but you know, I mean, I hate seeing our beloved character actors disappear. And it's like, I'm sitting there going, oh my God, I forgot how good he is. Why, you know, like Ethan and Joel Coen used to bring me in for all their movies, which was great. I never was, you know, got the opportunity to actually be in any of them yet, but you know, people who have appreciation for character actors and that kind of thing, you know, over the years. So it's, you know, and those are the things that keep you going.
Yeah, and those characters, people you see and you recognize, you see in them every movie, and you may not know their name, but you definitely know their face. And actually, we're bringing Michael Berryman on.
I love Michael.
Next week, he'll be on live with us for the virtual horror con. And
well, I mean, what an interesting story he had, you know. I mean, just growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Don, so I have another question about the Crypt Keeper specifically. What's your favorite Crypt Keeper intro pun, or like your favorite line you delivered with the character?
You memorize them all.
It can't be what you asked for. No, I'm just God, that's tough. You know, I mean, obviously there's the one episode, Oil's well that ends well, where I was actually on camera in that episode. They kept saying they wanted to put me in an episode. They go, "You're such a good actor. We want to put you in one of the episodes."
Yeah, why didn't you?
You know what? When we get to the end of the run, you know, do the Alfred Hitchcock thing and put me in like the last episode or something. That would be fun.
Were you in it? Were you on one?
Yeah, Oil's well that ends well. It stars
one you were
on with Lou Diamond Phillips and Priscilla Presley, Noble Willingham, who's no longer with us, Rory Calhoun, who's no longer with us, and Alan Ruck, you know, from
that's a great cast.
Oh, it's a great cast. And so in the end, the Crypt Keeper's sitting there like with his feet up, you know. He's got his feet up and he's sitting there looking at the TV set, you know, and he freezes on me and he goes, "You know, these other actors are good, but this one's a real boy, a Robert Redford, and that voice. I could swear he reminds me of someone I know." And it did about the biggest laugh I could do on that one, you know. And it's just it's awesome. That was you know, maybe the most fun I had doing the Crypt Keeper ever.
Yeah,
I did come up with a line which I love using that I can't, you know, that I just improvised and they wound up using it. And when they used it, they have the Crypt Keeper sitting in bed. It's like Valentine's Day or something, and he has like a dead female corpse next to him, and she's got a box of chocolates, and
naturally,
his arm around her, and her head falls off in his lap, and he goes, "I love a girl who'll give you head and keep it."
Dude, I don't even remember. I gotta rewatch the Crypt because that's.
Oh yeah, there's gold in there, man. I
don't
even remember this episode. This is so good. And probably when you were younger, you probably watched the Crypt Keeper sequences more than the episodes.
I don't. You know, I remember. I mean, it inspired one of our company's biggest comic books, Crypt Fairy Tales, which has been running now for 15 years. But it was something just my writing partner and I, you know, loved growing up, and like just was like we wanted to find a way.
Alternative to growing up.
But that, well,
growing up, we love growing up. Yes, we all love growing up.
We love growing up. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Is that so? Do you think like do you think the Crypt Keeper is your favorite voice, or is there another voice you've done over the years that you would say like that's it, like this was my favorite? Or I know there might be like children, like you love them all the same, but
you know, I mean, there's so many different voices that I've done, and you know, a lot of them are just one hits, or you know, you get to do them for a while. You know, it's more about I mean, the Crypt Keeper, obviously, you don't know what's gonna stick when you start your career. You don't know what people are gonna know you for. You know, I love the fact that the characters that I play are more famous than I am. I mean, that takes the onus off me, you know, having to be on in public all the time and that kind of thing, you know? You know, I always wanted to be a character actor, but you know, as you get older, there's more of you in the characters that you play. But the Crypt Keeper, of course, as much as it doesn't look anything like me, has a lot of me in the character, even though it doesn't sound like my voice. Like, I'll laugh and people go, "Oh my God, that's the Crypt Keeper!" Laugh,
right.
because it's my voice. But people are like, "Do you lose your voice doing it?" And it's like, no, because it's in a place in my voice that's comfortable for me. Doing impersonations where you have to manipulate your voice to sound like somebody else can be very tough on your voice, or doing high pitched voices, or trying to place your voice down here. Or I've had to do like dog barking for 4 hours. I mean, you know, it's like you lose that kind of thing. Or, you know, I used to do animals on The Simpsons, and they're like, okay, we need you to do a rhinoceros. So that's easy. Okay, now we need you to do a herd of rhinoceros, you know, and I like had blood coming out of my nose when I was done.
Right.
But, you know, so the Crypt Keeper, in terms of, you know, getting to invest myself in the character, was probably got to do that the most. And then, of course, there are characters that you appreciate because you loved them as a kid and you got to recreate them. You know, I got to recreate Dudley Do-Right, and I got to recreate Buster Bunny for Charlie Adler, and I got to recreate Pete Puma, who I loved as a kid. I know you. You know, I mean, it's just like one of my favorite characters. And then, of course, there are characters that you love doing because the cast that you worked with were so much fun, like on something like Cat Dog, where
Cat Dog, yes.
You know, and I played Mervis and Dunglap, which were two characters that were fighting with each other all the time. So I had to fight with my child. You did not. I did too. You know, and they're going back and forth with each other. But I was working with, you know, Jim Cummings and Tom Kinney and Dwight Schultz and Maria. Oh my God, we all love Maria. She's such a funny stand-up comedian. Anyway, you know, Carlos Alazraqui, Billy West was in that cast, and so some of the parts you do, you just are with by yourself or with one other cast member. Like when I did Ray Rocket for Rocket Power, Raymundo, man. I placed Raymundo on my surfer neighbor across the street, Gary. Although he doesn't know that. Hey, Johnny K. Hey, man, let's go down to the beach. What do you say? Otto, did you do your homework? So, and he's, you know, a dad and the whole deal. So it was he was like, and he looks like Ray Rocket too. So it was kind of perfect to base him on that when I auditioned for him. But, you know, like I did most of my recording just with Ray Bumatai, who came in from Hawaii. He's no longer with us. His poor guy died from a brain
aneurysm.
Oh no!
No, he had a tumor in his brain, you know. But he was something else. He was really.
He was the voice of Tito, right? Oh my gosh!
So most of the recording, because they had to really take their time with the kids to get performances out of them. They didn't want to have us sitting there, you know, having to work through that. But that's just the way certain different studios work. They bring you in or bring you in with one or two other people. But Cat Dog, we had the whole cast there, like every week, you know. Every Tuesday it was Reader's Theater with those clowns, and it was good times. We laughed a lot making that show, and it translated into the performance of the show.
So the energy of that, having everybody in the room,
so
a different energy, of course.
So even though I wasn't doing my most challenging characters, I was having the most fun doing that.
Right, because otherwise you're isolated with a headset.
Yeah. Now I'm doing everything from home in my closet that I've converted into my studio. Right. I never had to have a studio here. I had to have studio quality equipment to do my auditions, but I didn't have to have a completely quiet, you know, acoustically proper studio, and I do now. But
Right.
you know, I'll be in there for hours at a time. You know, a session could be like up to 4 hours long.
It's got to be a challenge. I mean, it's interesting to watch you just float from voice to voice. I mean, that's such a unique talent. I mean, you have to. Have you always had like? I know we're running short on time, Chris. Don't.
No.
Don't
This is
plug,
fascinating. I have all the time in the world. This is awesome.
You know, have you always had a like an ear, like growing up, you could just do these impersonations like that?
Oh, totally. I would imitate everything on the TV set. It irritated the shit out of my family.
Right.
You know, of course, you know, now I make a living at it. I go,
yeah, right.
No 9 to 5 for me. But, you know, back in the day when I was a kid, you had to take you didn't have even remote control on the TV set. You would take the knob off the TV set. Like I'd get down there first to watch my favorite cartoons, and I'd take the knob off the TV set and hide it so my brothers and sisters couldn't change the channel.
Oh, okay, right, because it was the knob was off. It was just the
just a look pig. Same thing that's on your stove, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna fix the bunny ears too, you know.
Don't forget it. You sit there with a mirror. You know, behind the TV set, turning the knob. There was only 4 channels, you know, when one of them was
now there's 300,000.
Yeah, exactly. I used to do my act, you know, so now I've got 150 cable radio stations hooked up intravenously, and there's still fucking nothing on.
I know. It is funny now how that's evolved over the years when you're a kid, like growing up, and you're like, you were at the mercy of whatever was on. I mean, I remember watching HBO as a kid, and like literally they'd play the same 2 movies all day. So I would watch like certain movies. Like I remember seeing Conan the Destroyer I've probably seen that movie 150 times. Like how many times could I watch Conan the Destroyer? Listen, I know the movie by heart. Great film on it, but like.
And then when you're able to freeze them, people are like, wait a minute, what is that? You know, is that a fly on Pence's head? You know, it's just like, you know, you know, it's like this is a completely different generation. What people see and what people experience than what I grew up with. You know, I've seen it evolve. People are like, "Oh, you're so behind the times." Like bullshit, dude. I've seen you. This is why people love steampunk, because they get to see how things moved and made. Because everything that's put in their hand. You know, this, they don't even know how it works. Look at you guys.
Hey.
Oh, good on there.
Look at what I got on my phone.
Oh, that's cool.
He gave me
Wait,
that.
Is that Danny Trejo?
It is.
Yes.
Danny's monetized. He's evil. You know, I mean, he's so great. He's one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to
meet. I'm on too. He's awesome.
We did an event for 35,000 people in Las Vegas. Was it Fulton Street? Is that what it's called? No, not Fulton Street. I can't even remember now. See, this is the part about getting old that's bad. You can't remember the names of shit. But he's great. It was they opened up the entire Las Vegas to a big Halloween party on the street. But I don't know where we were going. Oh no, that people don't even know the technology works. So they just know that it does work. And then if it doesn't work, they take it to a shop or they turn it in for a new one or whatever, you know. And, you know, when I was a kid, they hadn't even conceived of this shit yet. You know, like the amount of memory that's in this phone, you needed an entire floor of an office building of computer banks in order to have even close to the amount.
It just keeps getting crazier. 10 years, 20 years.
Oh, forget it. The microchip is like, you know, one of the most amazing inventions ever. But
and ironically, the social media is one of the worst inventions ever.
You know, the problem is that, you know, people don't appreciate long form entertainment anymore. You know, it's like you know, he doesn't excite me. You know, and then all of a sudden somebody will go, yeah, but did you watch him? Nah, I bailed on it. It's like, go back and watch it. And they're like, oh, thank you, because that was so awesome. Because, you know, if something doesn't, you know, grab them, You know, they move on.
I'm guilty of it too. Like I even did that with a couple shows recently, like Umbrella Academy. Actually, I don't know if you guys watch Umbrella Academy.
So good.
I didn't think I was gonna like it. I'm like, talking monkey. Like I don't care. And then, 10 minutes in, I was like, I'm done. And then like my friend's like, dude, you gotta watch it. It's so good. I'm like, all right. And then now I'm like, how couldn't I have? I was not gonna watch that show because I wasn't wowed in 10 minutes. Like
people were like, you got to go watch Cobra Kai. I was like, why? I didn't even really watch the Karate Kid. They're like, no, you don't love it because it's such a throwback, but it goes beyond that. It's very current at the same time.
Yeah.
And so my wife and I sat down to watch it. We binged the entire thing. We watched it all in one night. You know, it was just like, I don't know how many hours that is, but we watched it. And I was sitting there going, okay, this is great. Now what's next? You know, you're always looking for something good.
But you consume it in like 10 minutes and then you want the next thing.
Look, Tales from the Crypt is still popular for that reason because it was made to be fun. It was made to, it started in the 50s and 60s. When I tell some fans that, they're like, what? It's based on a comic book. It's like, yeah. These are the original characters, the Crypt Keeper, the Old Witch, and the Vault Keeper, and EC Comics. There were comic books brought to life.
And it was unique because it was a perfect blend of dark.
Completely controversial. I got those comic books taken away from me because they were, because
literally, no.
Oh, this is why there are codes on comic books because of EC Comics. Literally, there were, people had gotten together and made these groups that were going to the government saying, I don't want my kids reading this trash, and this is, but for some kids, it was the only thing they were reading, and that's how they learned how to read. Because it was easy. They were just reading small amounts of dialogue and stories, and they were learning how to tell stories and learning how to create sentences and stuff. But it was hard for kids. And my grandfather had a little store that had magazines in it, and all my cousins my grandfather would go, "Hey, go get a magazine," and my cousins would all be trying to like steal one of the Playboy magazines off the top, and I'd be like taking Tales from the Crypt,
Right.
And I'd hide them in my Casper comics so my mom wouldn't take them away from me.
That's funny.
But my sister's boyfriend would give me a stack of Archie comics, which I don't think I ever read a single one of them, but they were great for hiding my Tales from the Crypt comic books in. But the Crypt Keeper it was a device, not only a great way to have an anthology series that has the same theme to it. The Crypt Keeper is going to tell you every week, this is going to be fun. They're going to have a good time. This is your brain.
It's the campy horror.
This is your brain on Tales from the Crypt.
Right.
And so, it's like the ride up to the top of the roller coaster. Every roller coaster we've ever been on, you're like, that one was okay. It didn't really scare me. Or that one was like, unbelievable. I want to go on it again. But the ride up was always like the anticipation of it was always great.
Sure.
And that's, the Crypt Keeper works just like the ride up to the top of the roller coaster.
It's such an iconic character. It's truly amazing stuff. So Ralph, I don't know how much time we have left.
We're running behind, but I do want to do rapid fire with you, John.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to ask one big question before rapid fire.
Sure.
You're allowed to ask a big question.
Okay, one question. So, John, we need your expert opinion. So next week, Ralph and I will be doing a live script read. So, do you have what piece of wisdom or insight do you consider that is most important for anyone pursuing voice acting as a hobby or career? Like, we're doing this script read next week. I run Dungeons and Dragons games all the time. Character voices are like the hardest thing for me. So what piece of advice can you give?
People spend a lot of time worried about the voice they're going to use or that kind of thing. And it's like, it's acting just like any other acting. And I've worked with some of the best actors in the business. I've had, some really, really Oscar winning actors and stuff show up in a voice session with me and not be able to do it very well because they don't go there. They're thinking more about what's the voice going to sound like? Oh my God, look at the voice he's creating and blah, 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 blah. They forget that they're actors. And especially the somebody like Tom Hanks is so great at it. And You know, he and Tim were so good in Toy Story, and Jack Black, and these actors that, you know, that are used to playing parts where their imagination takes them there.
Mm-hmm.
So I get asked to do a lot of script readings, you know, what they call a table read, so that people can hear what works and doesn't work in a script that they're writing. And very often they'll have me play, you know, multiple characters or just one character or whatever. And I'm good at it because I let the impression of the script that I may be reading for the first time affect me while I'm reading it, you know, because it's a story being told. So I go with it. And so my first instincts may not be exactly right. I may find out that something else is going on that the writer was thinking of that I may not have gotten, but it's alive and it's real. And so it's about, you know, it's visualization of putting yourself where you're doing it. And, you know, some great voice actors, their voices that they create are not that unique or interesting, but they bring something to it that's like, has their sense of humor, their outlook on life into it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Chris froze, by the way. He's interested in what you're saying, but he also froze.
I thought I had him mesmerized.
He froze in interest. Real quick, John, I have two. Yeah. There's a couple. There's a bunch of comments here, so I want to ask a couple quick questions from our fans, and then I want to do rapid fire, and then I'll let you get back to your day finally. All right. Are there any other? Here's one. Are there any other comic characters that John would like to do voiceovers for in the future? Any other comic characters or any other character in general?
Gosh, I love acting, and I hope to keep a career as long as they'll let me. This is from John Whiteside. Thanks, John. Thanks for writing in. Gosh, you know, it's funny because I often get asked to do to audition for the Warner Brothers characters, you know, and I got to do Pete Puma and some other things over the, Buster Bunny and that kind of thing. But I'll always go, hey, I did that really good. In fact, when I'll see who they hired, I'll go, I did it better than that guy. But, for one reason or another, they liked what that person did. So I love doing Warner Brothers characters. So I hope I get to do more in the future. But things are fun. They can be tough depending on what you're doing, as long as it's well written. I like the more action-based story type games, whether they have a Raiders of the Lost Ark feel to them or something, because you get to, again, to bring character to them. I loved doing Deadpool, and they thought of me, of course, because he talks to the camera, he breaks the fourth wall, and he's sarcastic, which is like the Crypt Keeper. So they thought of me for that reason, which was a lot of fun to play. It's tough because in terms of thinking of a character to play, I had always hoped to play Charlie Chaplin, when I was younger. In fact, I was submitted to play Charlie Chaplin in the movie where Robert Downey Jr. won his Oscar for, which he was brilliant at. I had done played Charlie Chaplin for some. They had a guy who did the commercials for computers and. Back in the day, and so they had me do live events as Charlie Chaplin, that kind of thing, and I loved doing it. So I'd always wanted to do a historical character like that,
right?
In terms of acting on screen or in life, and I got to play Shemp in the Three Stooges movie, and in the biopic, and I got to play other real life characters over the years, and those are always really fun because you get to actually research them and find out about somebody who actually lived, and then try to do them the honor of bringing them to life in a movie. But of course, you're limited by whatever they've written you in as part of the script.
Right.
So you're always looking for something new. You're always instead of looking for something that you've imagined, it's a collaborative art. You're looking for something that somebody else put on the page or drew that inspires you to come up with something as rich as my voice for the Crypt Keeper. Right. what I came up with and the personality that I brought to it was a nod to Kevin Yeager's design of the Crypt Keeper and EC Comics humor of the Crypt Keeper and language of the Crypt Keeper and the idea of how this show came to be. So all those things come into play. So it's a tough question to answer, but that's my answer.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Well, I have my rapid fire. Are you ready? All right. So rapid fire is 5 questions. You only have 5 seconds to answer each question, John.
Okay.
So it's
James Lipton.
Tons of pressure. If you get this wrong, the world ends.
Inside the actor's studio with James Lipton.
Yeah.
Ralph.
Ralph Lipton is right.
Ralph Lipton.
God rest his soul, James.
Yeah.
Lipton.
I love
he was the best.
He kind of looks like James Lipton, right?
He does. A little bit. Maybe that's what they modeled him after. Okay, so are you ready? Are you prepared?
Let's go.
Ready as you'll ever be. All-time favorite horror movie?
Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein.
Makes sense.
Yes.
That's a good one. Good pull.
Yes.
Favorite Halloween candy?
The marshmallow pumpkins, the candy corn pumpkins.
Wrong answer.
Oh no.
Terrible answer.
Why? You can stick them on
why,
your teeth. You can stick them on your teeth. They could be a costume.
Well, that is okay. We didn't. That they double as a costume. That's fair. Best Halloween costume you've ever worn? Can't be Crypt Keeper.
Oh boy, well, I never dressed as a Crypt
Keeper.
Keeper.
Never did it.
Oh gosh, I went as this dead baby, and I had like a little body that hung down from here with the little hands. And seriously, there was never ever did I get the response from anything other than that. I mean, I had girls hitting on me, and they're like, "I don't know why you're hitting on baby right now, but just so you know, I'm hung like this baby's arm." It's like.
My God. This is taking a turn, John. But hey, I'm writing it down. Dead baby. Going to the next Halloween costume as dead baby. All right.
Okay.
You're on death row. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you did. You probably killed somebody. What's your last meal request?
Oh, Maryland blue crabs.
Ooh.
Yeah, because you're from Baltimore. You were born and raised in Baltimore, right? Yeah.
Right,
there you go.
Oh, Ravens.
Hell yeah.
We're an Eagles fan office. We're Philly. Ravens, though. I like the Ravens this year, man. Looking good.
I followed the Eagles when the Colts left Baltimore. They didn't have a team.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was those.
Yeah, and then they brought.
Philadelphia.
Oh, you left us, man. You left us for. I don't blame you. You guys have had good years. Poor Browns, by the way.
I know.
But we won't get into that. All right. The Crypt Keeper is on his deathbed. It's sad. He's finally dying. What are his last words?
Don't believe him. You can take it with you.
All right. We're ending it there.
Beautiful. Wow. John Cassier, thank you so much for coming to our live stream, chatting with us. It was amazing. One last thing: is there anything you'd like to promote or plug before we let you go? And with your Happy Friday and your weekend,
I just want everybody to stay safe. Wash your bony little fingers. Wear a mask. No, not that one. And hey, if you want to reach out and get something fun like a cameo, go to the website. They'll charge you more if you go through the app because Apple takes like half of it or whatever. But because I'm always donating to good causes and charities as well as paying my bills. But you won't be disappointed. I take time with each one, which can be a curse because my wife was like, "Why did you take so time?" I was like, "I want everybody to walk away with something special for their cameo." So.
It's really affordable, right?
Oh yeah, they only charge like 60, 65 bucks, 55 bucks or something like that.
You get a Crypt Keeper.
Business ones are, like 500 bucks, but that's because I'm promoting somebody's business, so and that's cheap for a promotional thing for a business. But yeah, I mean, it's not that. It's less than sending somebody flowers, and it's something they'll keep forever.
Yeah, it's a great thing. Yeah, there's the link right there. Mark posted it up.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Mark. So yeah, awesome. That's where you can find John Kassir on Cameo, and if there's,
I know we didn't get a chance to do audience Q&A, but is there any social media channels that anyone can contact you at?
Facebook I use the most, just because you can actually back and forth with people. I got my full 5,000, so you can follow me there and still send me stuff, and and I'll see it eventually. Or I do have an Instagram page. I do have a Twitter page. They're all under my name, JOHNKASSIR. They're all there. You'll see me. There are a lot of Crypt Keeper fan pages and stuff that people have started, or I started, or whatever, but that's really the ones that I'm on, and I post my cappuccino Rorschach test every week. People look at my cappuccinos and tell me what they see.
Tell you what they say in the cappuccino.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So, it's pretty funny to see what people see. There's a lot of dirty things that are said, but then,
the baby one being one of them.
I mean, it's classic Freudian psychology.
Yeah, it is.
All right, well, listen, John, it's been a pleasure, man. Really, really appreciate your time. We know you're busy, and we would love you. We'd love to have you back anytime if you'll dare to come.
Happy Halloween! It's my favorite time of fear.
Best, man.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I think that's the perfect closing point. So thank you, John, so much. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for tuning in for this really happy Friday. And again, stay tuned next week for a HorrorCon.
Next Thursday, we will start it all off and go from there. This is going to replay again on Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. So we'll see you then, guys.
All right, cool.
Peace.
Well, peace out. Thank you.